That means man can't starve. Grind to the end, and me not laugh. So the media were talking, won't be long till they call.
Hey now, what is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I am here to talk about and review probably a movie that I should have already seen and talked about and reviewed a while ago. I'm talking about Rocketman. This is a 2019 film that was directed by Dexter Fletcher, and this is the biopic, the story, the life story of Elton John. Sir Elton John, played by Taron Egerton, however you say it. And that's the plot, really. It's the life story of Elton John, his trials and tribulations, his growing up with his parents not being affectionate towards him, how he got into the music business, and his songs and how they got created, his friendship with Bernie, and all the drug use, and him trying to find love. This movie took me on a roller coaster of emotions all the way through. I really enjoyed this film. I did. And I'll be completely honest, I don't know a whole lot about Elton John, at least going into this movie. I didn't know a lot about him. I knew a few of his songs, but I didn't even know that much of his songs. Watching this movie, I went like, man, I don't really know that much Elton John songs, at least not as much as I thought I did. But not just that, his life story I knew jack shit about. So the first 5 minutes when you see Taron Egerton as Elton John, and you see him at the AA meeting, and he's trying to get help, and he talks about his childhood. And then they quickly get into a dance number and in a song. And that's when I realized, oh crap, this is a musical. And yes, this movie is a musical, and a lot of it is Elton John's songs, and it tells the story. And the very first song, I thought, oh boy, I don't know if I could get into this. I don't really care for musicals. I always get taken out of the movie when characters just start singing in the middle of a scene, because it's like, well, nobody does that in real life. So musicals, it always takes me a while to get into a musical. If the musical is really good, then I'll go along with it. But if it's not, then I'm checked out. This movie I got into, though. I got into this movie because the songs were smartly used. It was obviously, Elton John is a musician, so it makes sense to have this be a musical, at least in that sense. So you can tell the story of his life through these songs, certain scenes, certain stories, certain plot points being told through the songs I thought worked, but also visually. There was one scene that I knew I was won over by this being a musical. It's when Elton John is performing at this small club, and everybody in the club starts floating while he's playing his music. And I love that, because it felt like they were describing just the feeling of everybody in that room, and his music and what that does to people, and they told that story visually like that, so they went for it. There's a couple other scenes where Taron's performing, and he's on drugs, so the whole room is colorful and spinning, and I thought it was very stylized, great tone to show those emotional aspects of Elton John's head, and what he was going through. Dexter Fletcher, the director, again, did a great job at showing that visually. It's interesting that this director came in to help finish Bohemian Rhapsody. So sure, he didn't direct it all the way through. That was Bryan Singer, but still he worked on that film. And it's almost like what little he did just to finish it made him go, man, I really want to do a music biopic, but do it my own way. Be very stylized, be very just out there and different, and refreshing. And that's what he brought to this movie. And that I appreciated. Some of the other actors, you have Bryce Dallas Howard as his mother, a cold-hearted bitch, man. Let me tell you, every time she was on screen, I hated her. Stephen McIntosh plays his father, who couldn't be more cold-blooded than if he tried. That dynamic, I'm still trying to figure out. Why was he so cold to his son? Is it because he knew he was gay? Or maybe it was just something else? He hated his mother, and maybe it represented that. I don't know, but man, that was sad. Jamie Bell as Bernie, his friend, his partner in writing the music. I wish I got more of Jamie Bell. He was good in the scenes that he was in, and I liked the representation of their friendship because you saw that Bernie had to put up with a lot of Elton John's crap. I appreciated that they, even though Elton John obviously, at least I assume, had to be behind the storytelling aspects of this movie, telling his side of things. He didn't make himself, or the movie didn't make himself look like a saint. It made him look like there was moments and times where he could have been a dick, or was a dick to Bernie or certain other people in his life. Seeing him try to find love. I mean, he gets roped into his manager, John Reed, played by Richard Madden, who was on Game of Thrones. So seeing their relationship, or maybe lack thereof, that was pretty intense. Taron Egerton is clearly not afraid to do some gay scenes because there's plenty of that going on here. What more can I say about this film, though? Like I said, visually, stylized, the tone I thought worked very well. The story at times was very sad, but you feel for the character, you felt for Elton John, you saw his struggles, and I just, this movie touched me in a lot of ways. Like I do feel like it was snubbed a little bit by the Oscars. It's kind of amazing that Bohemian Rhapsody got as much attention as it did, and I still very much enjoy that film. But when you compare it to this was different. This was very out there. This movie tone felt a lot like who they were talking about, Elton John. It felt very much in tune with his personality, this movie. So, yeah, I really enjoyed Rocketman. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this movie. If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you love it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!